How's it going, everybody? So today I want to show you what I consider to be the best wallbangs for every single map in the active duty pool for CS2. But before we get into this, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code TACTICS on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. So let's go ahead and get started over here on Ancient. So in my opinion, the most important wallbang to know is one that's going to go right here into default to kill the diffuser or the planner if you're on CT. So what you're going to do is you're going to go right here into this corner. You're going to crouch or stand up, whichever one you prefer, and you're just going to aim right in the middle of this lantern. And as you can see, it's going to absolutely obliterate this guy, pretty close to 20 damage a shot. Very easy to get a kill through this. The reason I like that lantern, it actually doesn't block damage. It's a super easy reference point. You just go in the corner and you spam the lantern. As simple as that. I see a lot of people that don't know that lineup and they'll just kind of jump here and like look out the window and see if they can kind of guesstimate where the guy's standing, which definitely works. But I think for consistency's sake, I would recommend doing that. So now moving on over to Vertigo, one of the more common wallbang spots is going into this corner, finding this nice metal pole, and going down to right about here and just spraying right through. That's going to do a significant amount of damage to anyone tucked up in this corner, especially whenever you've driven them out of short. It's a very natural position for a lot of people to fall back into. You can rack up a ton of damage with that spam. Another less common wallbang spot that people don't really know about is whenever you're on CT and the T's are jumping up onto sandbags. There's a lot of times where I feel like you can kind of guess whenever they're going to be jumping up here. You can go right here on top of this far little piece of the metal wire, and you can just crouch. And at the very top right of this wooden plank, up to the right of the bottom right crane leg, you can spam through this and do 20 damage per hit to the body. That is a ton of damage for a wallbang. As you can see, the difference here, if you're on this wallbang, it's not doing anywhere near as much. It's doing about 14 per shot. So a fantastic wallbang right here. It does a ton of damage to the head. You can just crouch up here and just spam this position. I mean, take a look. That guy's so dead. You can just deal a ton of damage very quickly. It's going to catch them off guard. So I definitely recommend doing that from time to time on CT. It's definitely going to mix it up a little bit. And now moving on over to Inferno, my favorite wallbang for this map is whenever this is maybe either smoked off or say you've just mollied it off, anything that's going to push the T's back down those stairs, you can just kind of go here, peek, and just spam the left side of the door right here. As you can see, it does a very solid amount of damage. With 6 hits, you're going to get a full kill. A very, very good spam to do. I have a lot of success with this with getting that early damage in the rounds. Anytime you think they're trapped down there, it's a very free spam to hit, especially if there's some utility down to prevent them from swinging you. You can just spam the left side of this door, and hey, if someone's set up in this position, you're going to absolutely nuke them. And now moving on over to Nuke, I'm going to address a pretty common misconception that a lot of people have. Most people think that this sheet metal here inside of Hut is very thin and easy to penetrate. And as you can see, you can definitely pin it with a rifle. However, it does a lot less damage than you might think. One of the more common wallbang spots is you're going to find this right little cover here, aim up to where it's kind of the height of this plug, a little bit to the right, and just spam through. And as you can see, we're hitting the player on Tetris, but only for about 9 damage a hit, which is very, very low from what you would think for this type of thin sheet metal. But what's even stranger than that is if someone's right here, right, you can penetrate this concrete wall from back here by just spamming like this for even more damage. I mean, look at that. I'm doing 12 damage a shot, sometimes even 15 if you're hitting them in the right spot, which I haven't really been able to find that yet. But I mean, how crazy is that? A concrete wall here is easier to penetrate than this little bit of sheet metal. I find that very strange. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I think that should probably be reversed. Overpass is a map with a ton of very obvious and very effective wallbangs, but one that a lot of people don't realize exists is you can actually shoot through this brick wall like it's complete butter. So if you're on the CT side, right, and you feel like the T's are pushing through short pipe, you can come down here onto the staircase. You can find these 2 brighter bricks right here. The one on the right, you just do a simple spam through it, and look at the damage we're doing. If a lot of T's are running through the short pipe, you're going to do a significant amount of damage. This is one of the most consistent wallbangs that I end up hitting on Overpass, just because there's always so many T's pushing through this position, and it's just very easy to just come here early on in the round and just absolutely mow them down through the spam spot, because generally they're not all going to be right in the middle, but if a couple of guys are going through here, the likelihood of you hitting this spam is very, very high. Now moving on over to Anubis, there aren't many good wallbangs on this map because most of it is made out of gigantic stone bricks, but in my opinion, the best one is going to be this nice little window right here that leads into bridge. You can just aim at this little triangle piece here on the shutter, and that's generally going to hit anyone that is crossing the window. Same applies for the left window. If you go all the way in this corner, you can aim pretty much at that same triangle, or even a little more to the left to hit anyone that is crossing here. Two really good and easy wall bangs, and they do good damage with an op. Unfortunately, these windows are way thicker than you might imagine, so with an M4, they definitely don't do the best damage. 7 to 9 damage a hit, decent enough if you can get a few. You may chunk up to 30ish 40 damage off of them like a good HE. It's still not the best wallbang, but unfortunately there just aren't many on this map, so that's the best one that I can recommend. Another big issue is a lot of times whenever you're the cave player, you're going to end up getting smoked off by the T's. So a good way that you can pre-line this up, you can go into this corner, and for the right window, you just aim at the bottom right of this kind of white mark on the wall here. You're just going to aim right there, and you're going to go all the way into this corner, and you can just start spamming. And as you can see, pretty much the exact same lineup is going down. For the left window, you just aim where this little line here intersects with the top of this little E-box, and you just go all the way over to the right. And as you can see, if that smoke were still there, you're going to be aiming and hitting that player just like that. This also works really well with the op. Again, if you're smoked off as an opper and you want to go for that peek, you can either aim here, right? Just run all the way over here without moving your mouse, scope in, and boom, you're aiming for the wall bang. So that's a decent little lineup that you can use to make yourself a little bit more useful whenever you're smoked off in this position. And now moving on over to Mirage, one of my favorite wall bangs to do is to take out this player here on jail, because I always take it very personally whenever I die to this player. I don't know why, it just always makes me really mad, so it feels really good to go right here into this nice grease stain on the stove, right into this lime, and I'll just find this big white dot right here, a little bit to the right of it for good measure. And just like that, you're doing 20 damage per shot through this position. It's very easy to spam, so you can just go right into it here and just absolutely let loose, and you're going to be able to kill this guy very, very easily by just spamming that white dot right there on the wall. So yeah guys, thanks again for watching this video. If you learned something new, go ahead and leave a like, maybe even consider subscribing. If you have any suggestions for me in future videos, let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to support me, go ahead and click the Skins Monkey link either in the description or down in the comments.